specifically ADF, the rehabilitation process of former chief of the LDUs, probably particular specifics, how much progress has been made around that particular program? What are the developments around it? And
it is ongoing because the operations in DRC are also ongoing. Because the operations do yield escapees, captured, and those indeed that were recruited in different methods. Those who were abducted, those who were sent by their parents, or who joined on their own. So the rehabilitation must include psychosocial. 2, they are given skills that will help them to live after the jungles. And we have so far graduated over 140. Now, normally, I think we do have to wait for a particular number. As people gather, you are feeding them, you are treating those who have been wounded, then you prepare the training program, which lasts normally about 2 months. So another program is going on after the first group we showed you, and we trust that, first of all, we have not had any issues with the first group. So this gives us confidence that this skilling, psychosocial, psychological retraining has benefited them as individuals and benefiting the community. Now, the third factor, or if I may use the phase 2 of that program, includes now dealing with the communities where they have come from to get acceptability. Because certainly there are suspicions from the communities. So what our teams do, plus the non-government organizations we work with, we go back to the communities. Having known where this particular individual comes from, you want to engage the family, first of all. 2, you want to engage the villagers where this individual hails from, so that they are convinced that these people are not dangerous to them. Since you have been with them for months, you can predict their characters. That's how we do it. So it's a continuous program as long as that operation goes on. Thank you too. Plus the commander. And we're estimating them to be about 7. You remember it's the same group that came from, we killed 2 others. So we have been degrading their numbers. And certainly it's going to be very unattractive for them to continue those operations. Impact of the activities that causes this. First of all, you remember the terrorists do attack we are talking about. Generates confidence in the community when they see that, yes, security has been deployed for our advantage. From the media fraternity. Of course it is. Or it means that they... yawedde kati njagalize mwaka Christmas nagikunye olukumu mutwe munda gye bali entambula si nnyangu olina okwetegekera route march.
But is a fit man this one.
Yeah. Done for Malaysia, done.
Okay.
All right, are we good to go? So I'd like to welcome you to this afternoon press conference, and thank you that you agreed to disrupt your holiday. But journalists and soldiers don't have a holiday, do we? Tell me, do we have any holiday? For us, any time is tea time. The purpose of this press conference is to announce a major activity that is going to take place in one of the sub-regions of this country. And secondly, is to inform the country about another unfortunate incident in Kamwenge that happened last night in one of the sub-counties. But let's start with the positive news. Following the attacks in the Rwenzori sub-regions by the Allied Democratic Forces terrorists, His Excellency the President of Uganda and the Commander-in-Chief of the UPDF has directed for the reactivation of local defense structures in the areas surrounding Kibale National Park and the Greater Rwenzori sub-region to protect communities against these attacks. The UPDF, therefore, hereby announces the mobilization and recruitment of local defense personnel in the districts of Kamwenge, Kitagwenda, Bunyangabu, Chenjojo, and Kasese. The recruitment will be conducted in two phases. Phase 1 will run from 27th of December, which is tomorrow, 2023, to 10th of January, 2024. This will cover the districts of Kamwenge, Kitagwenda, and Bunyangabu. Phase 2 will cover the districts of Chenjojo, Chegegwa, and Kasese. Phase 2 will begin immediately after Phase 1 and will be conducted as in Phase 1. You know, the same methodology and the timings. The mobilization and recruitment will be conducted in 60 parishes / wards according to the quota system. Each parish / ward shall contribute 12 recruits, making a total of 720 personnel in Phase 1. Each parish / ward, I've just mentioned that. The criteria to recruitment, the criteria for recruitment shall be as follows. 1, one must be a citizen of Uganda. 2, the person should be ready for volunteer service. In other words, it will be voluntary or volunteering by the individual, not forceful or conscription. The person must be physically and mentally and medically fit. 3 or 4, they must be adults aged between 18 and 45 years of age. 5, they must have a minimum education of primary 7. 6, they must carry letters duly signed by the LC1 chairpersons and the defense secretaries of those areas I mentioned. 7, they should be residents of the area. 8, no criminal record. 9, they must be disciplined. And that's why we are requiring the letters from LC1 and the Secretary for Defense. 9, yes, disciplined. 10, no, they should not be having any other employment or engagement. The mobilization will be conducted by the resident district commissioners, deputy resident district commissioners, Uganda People's Defense Forces, Uganda Police Force, Internal Security Organization, Local Council 1 chairpersons, and the secretaries for defense. We do call upon the residents of these districts I mentioned earlier to indeed cooperate with the mobilization teams and recruitment teams. Like I said, mobilization takes effective from tomorrow, the 27th of December. And as I said, the recruitment in this phase 1 shall be between 27th of December and the 10th of January 2024, so that we do start in phase 2 immediately after. I thank you. If you consider the districts I've mentioned in phase 1, the total number is 720 in phase 1. That means even phase 2 it will be the same number, 720. That brings it about 1,440. That's fine. Any other question, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, sir.
How long do you intend to engage them?
Oh, sorry for that. Of course, the period of engagement shall depend on the conditions or on the requirements for them. The security situation certainly will improve. And once it improves, they can be demobilized. Because the purpose is to guard against these particular small groups that are within Chibai National Park and Queen Elizabeth. Rather, to protect Chibai National Park and the Queen Elizabeth National Park and the communities around them. Yes, you had put up your hand, sir.
Any particular
Yes, Mr. General.
particular details concerning last night's attack in Kamenge? That is one. And secondly,
Are we done with this one before we go to the attack?
okay.
Because I thought we would handle the attack differently. Yes.
Specifically to this particular approach in using locals
Yeah.
to patrol these particular areas,
Yeah.
what difference does it offer compared to the army itself in trying to ensure that there is safety within these areas that are being attacked?
First of all, the army is not being withdrawn. The army will continue pursuing these groups. Okay? But secondly, the purpose or the advantage of using the locals is, one, they know the area very well. Two, it is cheaper in terms of cost of maintenance because somebody is coming from his or her home. That's the option we want to use, that somebody should be. That's why I said they must be locals. 3, if there is any error of indiscipline on any of them, the community itself is able to identify this is Kuraije who has done this. So it helps also in terms of maintaining the discipline. But point to note, they shall be commanded by UPDF officers and non-commissioned officers. And 4, this is complementing the UPDF effort. So these ones are going to be guiding their own villages or wards, as I have indicated, parishes and wards. So it's not displacing, it's complementing. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Voluntary service.
Volunteer, not voluntary. Volunteer.
Volunteer service. I actually wrote volunteer.
Yes.
I just changed it myself.
Okay.
Followed the program.
No problem.
How does it usually work with the UPDF? And given the quality of the agency or the raised security
Concerns, if I may use the word,
as
yes.
a region,
Yes, sir.
how do you expect these people to render to
Volunteer means as opposed to conscription. Okay? Otherwise, they will be paid. They will be paid monthly. It's not voluntary. That's why I'm careful to use the word volunteer. You volunteer to be recruited, not forcefully recruited. Okay?
Yes, sir. Nelson from the New Vision.
Nelson should be having second.
You are going to be this trip. How long is it going?
Drills the UPDF is carried through during training. But two, given the situation on the ground, certainly the period can't be much long. All right? But certainly it will be sufficient enough to make them competent for the job. Yeah.
Are they going to be trained within the localities or you are taking them?
No. They will be taken in a central place, most likely one of our training schools, so that they have a benefit of the facilities in the training schools. Yeah.
In terms of recommendations, what kind of people are they supposed to be suggested by community leaders? How is it done?
When they say volunteer, you volunteer yourself. What the local leaders are supposed to do is to commend you, whether you are worth being recruited or not. And that's what the requirement is about from chairpersons and different secretaries. Those letters are a part and parcel of the requirement for you to come with.
It doesn't have age limit.
I gave the age ranges, sir, from 18 to 45. Yes, minimum 18, maximum 45. I need to point out that this is different from the UPDF recruitment. The maximum age is 25. But because these ones are in their home areas, we can go up to 45. Thank you. Any other question, ladies and gentlemen? We have trained and graduated 14,000 LDPs, local defense personnel, in our training schools of Kaweta, Olilim, and Labordong. These have been deployed especially in the 3rd and 5th divisions to cover the gaps that cattle thieves were exploiting in these areas. And if you have noticed or you have not noticed, ever since that deployment, cattle thefts have drastically gone down. Yeah.
Would the same approach be applied in specific where the sensitivity of concern?
Phase 2, if I may read for you, includes the districts of Chenjojo, Chegegwa, and Kasese. So certainly, Kasese is going to be covered in this. We are done? We go to Uganda? Okay. Omulanga gwemba yisitiddemu musitukidemu ne mujja era mbebaza okuba nti mukkiriza nze okubonoonera eggandalo lyammwe naye ekirungi nti ab'amagye ne bannamawulire embeera yaffe y'emu tetuyina wiikendi oba eggandalo nga lino erya Ssekukkulu. Ekibampisizza nti oluvannyuma lw'okulaba nti wabaddewo obulumbaganyi obw'enjawulo mu bitundu by'e Rwenzori, Oweekitiibwa Pulezidenti w'eggwanga era omuduumizi w'oku ntikko wa UPDF yalagidde tuzeewo ejje mu kuumabyalo mu districts ezibadde zilumbibwa. N'olwekyo UPDF erangirira okukunga n'okuwandiika ejjekkuuma byalo mu districts ez'Kamwenge, Kitagwenda, Bunyangabu, Kyenjojo ne Kasese. Okuwandiika kuno kujja kukolebwa mu biseera oba mu bitundu bibiri. Ekitundu ekisooka kijja kutandika 27 omwezi guno ogwa Desemba omwaka guno lwe lunaku lw'enkya, kukomekerezebwe ennaku z'omwezi 10 omwezi ogw'olubereberye 2024. Okuwandiika kuno kujja kukolebwa nga bwe njogedde mu phases 2. Phase esooka ejja kubeera Kyenjojo, Kyegegwa, ejja kubeera Kamwenge, Kitagwenda ne Bunyangabu. Phase ey'okubiri ekolebwe mu Kyenjojo, Kyegegwa ne Kasese. Phase ey'okubiri ejja kugoberera oba ejja kutandika nga esooka yakaggwa. Okukunga kuno n'okuwandiika bijja kukolebwa mu parishes ne wards 6 okusinziira ku ngaba ya kwota oba omutemwa. Buli parish oba omuluka oba ward ejja kuleeta barikruti oba abantu 12. Omugatte ogunaava mu buli district be bantu 720. Phase 1 ne phase 2 bwe kijja okuba. Buli muluka oba ward ejja kusubirwa okugobera bino wammanga nti omuntu azze ate okubeera Munnayuganda ng'omutuuze wa Uganda, ate okuba nga yeyeyagalidde okuyingira ejjekkuuma byalo, ate okuba nga omubiri gwe mulamu n'obwongo bwe bulamu. Bateeka okubeera abantu abakulu okuva emyaka 18 okutuusa emyaka 45. Obusomi bwabwe oba okusoma kwabwe kujja kuba nga tusinziira ku P7 oba primary ey'omusanvu okudda waggulu. Bateeka okujja n'ebbaluwa eziteekeddwako omukono ssentebe w'ekyalo n'omuwandiisi w'ebyokwerinda mu kyalo ekyo mwava. Oteekeko ne diso oba jiso, ate kubanga mutuuze wa kitundu ekyo, ate kubanga talina rekoda ya bumenyi bw'amateeka, ate kubeera nga alina empisa. Kyekitusabisa ebbaluwa zino kuba tusuubira nti LC secretary ne chairperson bategeera abantu baabwe. Ate kubanga talina mulimu mulala gwakola nga ajja kujja abeere nga ye mwetegefu okukuuma ekitundu kyabwe. Okukunga kuno kujja kukolebwa ba RDCs, deputy RDCs oba omumyuka wa RDC, UPDF, Uganda Police, Internal Security Organization, chairman oba chairperson wa LC esooka ne Defense Secretary. Tusuubira nti omulimu guno gujja kutwala ezo weeks zenjogeddeko, era nti omulimu guno bwe tunaatugumaliriza ne batendekebwa bajja kwongera obukuumi obwetaagisa mu bitundu byabwe. Mwebale nnyo. Be bantu abawalirizibwa okuyingira olutalo nga baana bato, naddala oluvannyuma okufiirwa oba okubulibwako bakadde baabwe. Bano kye tuyita ejje kuuma byalo, local defense. Era emyaka ogiwulidde kaddogo aba mwana muto, gino emyaka 18 okutuusa emyaka 45. Twagala omuntu akuuma ekitundu kye mwazaalibwa aba afaayo okusingako. Namba 2, kyangu management njiyita tya mu Luganda? Kale nedda okuteekateeka kirala naye management kyangu okubakozesa nga tewetaaze sente nyingi engeri gye bakola nga bava mu byalo byabwe oba mu woodi zaabwe. Namba 3 nti nga bw'ava mu kitundu kino kyangu okulondoola empisa ze naddala bano ab'akakiiko ku kyalo ne mu muluka kubanga baba bamumanyi nti kuleje bamuzaala ku kyalo gundi. Oba ngezaako kinywera bulungi weewaawo mu rekodi yaffe tukulondoola ne bw'oba owumuziddwa tuba tumanyi wa wooli wa woosula era empisa zo tuzifaako kubanga tukwongedde obumanyi skill. Ekyokubiri nti emundu zino ze banaaba baweereddwa ekiseera bwe kituuka nti ne tulaba nti tekikyetaagisa bo okubeera nga bali ku mulimu guno emundu zijja kubaggyibwako. N'olwekyo tewali kwerekera ate kimanye nti kuva dda nga bw'owulidde muwala wange agamba twali tuwandiika ba LDU wadde abayise bakadogo eri abaddeyo mu byalo naye ng'empisa baazikuuma. Nsaba mbategeeze nti ekiro ekyakeeseza olwaleero abatujju ba ADF nate balumbye ekyalo mu Kamwenge gye baadde banoonyeza emmere oba ekyokulya gye basangidde omukadde ne bazzukulu be babiri ne babatta era babookedde mu nnyumba yaabwe ekyomukisa omubi balusuddemu akaba. Naye ebibinja byaffe ebiyigga akabinja kano kwako ekabinja ke kamu akalumba wiiki ewedde abatta abantu 10. Ebibinja byaffe binoonya olw'eyigga akabinja kano bikyagenda mu maaso mpaka nga wabasse. Sijja balimba nti tugenda bakwata mpaka nga bakoze eki nga wabasse. Kijjamiza naye twetema nti tujja genda mu maaso n'obunyiikivu okulaba nti obubinja buno tubumalayo abantu baffe bebeere mu mirembe gyabwe gyetaagisa. With grief, I wish to that last night the same group that did commit atrocities last week where they killed 10 people, this group attacked another village where they are scavenging for food, and they killed a 75-year-old woman and her 2 grandchildren, burning them in their house. The UPDF squads have continued and will continue to hunt for this group until they are killed. And with this, the enforcement we are making, you can be sure the villages will be guaranteed with security. I thank you. Maguma, I have seen you have come very early, but because you got information maybe late.